Jordan Pickford jumps for joy after England win. Credit Getty Images. It was not Arsene Wenger's finest hour, but it would eventually be Jordan Pickford's. Wenger, the former Arsenal manager, had suggested the goalkeeper might be the weak link in this England team, which followed on from Thibaut Courtois cheaply questioning whether he was big enough after the way he could not reach Adnan Januzaj's goal for Belgium last week. Cheap shots. But Pickford certainly stands tall now after his extraordinary save to help earn England this oh-so-vital shootout win. It was a moment that will live with him forever, a moment, along with Eric Dyer's decisive kick, that might just change the landscape and mindset of how England are perceived in world football. A moment in which England grew to new heights. When you look at the teams who have won the World Cup, you realize there is always a big goalkeeper in goal. Wenger had said, in his role as a TV pundit. We have no examples of a team who won the World Cup without a big, massive goalkeeper. Pickford will maybe be one, but at the moment he lacks experience and they might pay for that, but England did not pay and they might just go against Wenger's rule after what was only Pickford's 7th cap. That was the long and the short of it. The Everton goalkeeper had received the backing of Gareth Southgate when he was asked whether he was wavering over his number 1, having given the 24-year-old the shirt ahead of Jack Butland, and this was a sweet vindication of that. In fact, Southgate had lightly put the debate over Pickford's height into perspective by claiming the Ferrari was the equivalent of the size of a Cadbury's cream egg. That was in reaction to Courtois claiming that his rival was too busy trying to make a dramatic stop to save Januzaj's shot and mocked Pickford's height as he threw his legs in the air. Jordan Pickford gets a firm hand to the ball in the penalty shootout. Credit Getty Images. At 6 feet 1 inch, he is 5 inches shorter than the Belgian, actually the equivalent to 2.5 creme eggs, but it was typical of Southgate's measure management style that he dealt with it in this way rather than getting angry or making it into a row or reacting. So much had been made in the run-up to this last 16 tie against Colombia of England's abysmal and mentally stifling record in penalty shootouts that everyone seemed to focus solely on the takers, with predictions as to who would be the 5 men detailed for the job, and not the man tasked with saving the opposition's kicks, who is just as important. Pickford said he had studied Colombia, but, in truth, he got nowhere near the first 3. In fairness, those taken by Radamel Falcao and Juan Cuadrado in front of the end solely occupied by Colombian fans were pretty much unstoppable, high and powerful, although Pickford did dive when Falcao's kick was straight. He was outfoxed by Luis Muriel, who calmly rolled the ball into the net after the goalkeeper once again threw himself following a routine which he had clearly deliberately chosen to bounce up and down on the goal line, tapping the crossbar, attempting to unnerve his opponent, and, as Southgate said, own the process. Russia World Cup in pictures. Best photos of teams, games and players. At that stage it seemed England were heading out as Jordan Henderson missed, but Pickford unsettled Colombia's 4th taker, Mateus Uribe, with his technique with the midfielder's shot slamming back off the crossbar, and suddenly he was back in business. He then had his moment as Pickford superbly, one-handed, saved Carlos Baca's penalty as he again dived to his right. Pickford's left hand shot up high on the ball. It was the first shootout save made by an England goalkeeper in a major tournament since David Seaman in 1998. It did not happen in 2006 or 2012, and the celebrations were astonishing as Pickford's teammates tore towards him. I did all my research. I've got power and agility. I don't care if I'm not the biggest keeper because it's about being there in the moment and making the save, and I was, Pickford said, which showed he was aware of the harsh criticism from Courtois in particular. Maybe it motivated him further and, if it did, he found the right response. It's all about the set position and I got a hand to it. We knew we had this game even if it had to go to penalties, we knew we were capable of winning. England versus Colombia, player ratings. I was in a massive whirlwind but I saved it with my left hand. I've been criticized for going with my top hand, but as long as you save it, that's all that counts. I might be young but I've got good mental strength and experience and I used that today. There had also been a fine save by Pickford deep into normal team, as he tipped away a shot for a corner, but that was lost as Colombia claimed their equalizing goal from the resultant corner kick. But again he will felt vindication with that, as he stretched himself to tip the ball away. It was as nothing, though, as to the shootout and what unfolded. World Cup newsletter promo, end of article.